Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. So, I got my fire going. Boy, we are in the middle of winter. It's like, I don't know, like 12 degrees out here in the Catskills. All right, getting right into this as we speak. Pam Bondi's going through the confirmation hearings for Attorney General, and yesterday Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense was grilled. I still think he's going to be confirmed. I think it's sick, and it's all partisan bullshit. They'll be voted along party lines, but some of the clips that have gone viral for Hegseth, it's really you got to check it out. So anyway, I want to talk about Trump's legal cases here. Yesterday, or was it the day before, Jack Smith actually released his official report, and he did not hold back. And I'm really glad. Now, I know all the details. I've read the indictments like when it came out. I have a couple of books. I've read the whole thing over and over. Most people have not. Unfortunately, if they had, obviously, the lying criminal scumbag would have lost the election. In fact, I've always said the New York case, if they televised it, if they filmed it and showed it, I mean, I would hope that Kamala Harris would have won like in a landslide or something, because you could see people who were in there, who covered there, who went to the trial every day. The hush money case, election interference, Alvin Bragg case, said it's way worse than I even imagined. He's just a lying criminal scumbag. But I want to do this now to play a little bit of the audio because they allowed Trump to speak. He was there remotely. Listen, I hate to hear the guy's voice or even see him. I've kind of made it a kind of a policy here on Tabor Talk not to show any clips of the lying orange scumbag or any audio, and basically just transcripts. But this, I got just a couple of clips here. This guy, all he does is lie. But let me do this. This is from the David Pakman Show, and check this out. It's just audio, but ready?
Audio of Donald Trump's statement at his sentencing for
Just a little
New
loud.
York's criminal court last week. And it is so funny to me because the right, Sean Hannity, and all of these others, they are portraying Donald Trump's 6-minute unhinged rant in court as some kind of heroic performance and really sticking it to the man. Of course, Trump is the man. There's no greater sort of representation of establishment power and crony capitalism and just inheriting wealth than Donald Trump. But put that aside for a moment. We have the audio now.
Let me pause this. I didn't realize that they're thinking this is a good thing. I'm like, oh my God, they are so shameless. It's just propaganda, pure propaganda. They are the worst scum of scum. And they're complicit in all this. Hannity and Waters and Ingraham, they are absolute scum. But let me continue.
Fox News played it. Trump's sentencing statement is so absurd. It's sort of like this is a Wendy's kind of moment. Let's listen to some of it, and it is wild that MAGA thinks this is heroic.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, the voice.
This has been a very terrible experience. I think it's been a tremendous setback for New York and the New York court system.
Yeah, right.
This is a case that Alvin Bragg did not want to bring. He thought it was, from what I read and from what I hear, inappropriately handled before he got...
Your Honor, I've heard things.
Yeah, I've heard things.
A gentleman from a law firm came in and acted as a district attorney. And that gentleman, from what I heard, was a criminal or almost criminal in what he did. It was very inappropriate. It was somebody involved with my political opponent. Part of the records that we're talking about, they're saying, I just noticed where he said I was falsifying business records. Well, the falsification of...
It's funny how Trump goes, I just saw that they're saying I was falsifying business records. Dude, you've been convicted
Yeah.
on 34 counts months ago. And
Right.
Trump's like, I'm hearing that they're saying I falsified
He's
business
such a
records. But I really
scumbag.
didn't. You know, it's just not something I did.
Business records, as they said, was called
Listen
a
to this.
legal expense in the books where everybody could see them. A legal expense. In other words,
Okay.
that legal fees or legal expense were put down.
What the
as
fuck are you
legal
talking
expense
about,
by
bro?
accountants. They weren't put down by me. They were put down by accountants.
Okay.
I didn't call.
Everything he said is a fucking lie. What he's been saying, legal expense, legal. That's why I wish they filmed this and showed it. People who could see. This guy is just like legal expense. You falsified business record. It's clear right there in black and white. And dude, you've been doing this forever. If you watched the trial, they get into his relationship with David Pecker with the National Enquirer. This is pre 2016, where he would make up stories. Donald Trump would make up the fake story, like Ted Cruz's father killed JFK, and he would tell his buddy David Pecker. Everyone knows what the National Enquirer is, right? Right? That's the tabloid in the grocery stores, the supermarkets. It's all bullshit. Alien with 5 arms rapes Elvis, that type of shit. That David Pecker. This is what we're talking about. Everything that comes out of this piece of shit's mouth is a fucking lie. He's a disgusting, horrible person. But let me continue for just a little bit because I know it's painful.
them construction, concrete work. I didn't call them electrical work. I didn't call them any.
None of this is
a legal fee or a legal expense. A legal expense, and for this, I got indicted.
Notice that this is
Listen,
the same
listen.
argument Trump's been making for years, and like we're way beyond it already.
okay. Listen, dude, you got indicted, but he forgets to say, and I was convicted by a jury of my peers. 12-0 in all 34 counts, 34 felony counts. Convicted, douchebag. You forgot to mention that, right? You always hear, like, the saying is, all right, you're indicted. You can indict a ham sandwich. I'd say people in law. I mean, obviously it's harder than that, but there's a saying, like an indictment, sure, that's one thing, but a conviction. You were indicted. I'm sorry, you were convicted, man. You're a felon. 34 felony counts, 12-0 by a jury of your peers. But he won't mention that. Let me continue on.
It's incredible, actually. Now, if you look, my attorney alluded to it. The top legal scholars and legal pundits.
Top legal scholars
in this country, the ones that are quoted all the time on television.
Yeah, like my friends on Fox News.
Yeah, right.
That are,
these are all frauds, charlatans that he
highly
quotes.
respected people.
Yeah, right.
Have said everyone, virtually everyone.
Yeah, virtually everyone. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy.
To the contrary, not one, and none of these people are not exactly friends of mine, to put it mildly. But they all said this is a case that should have never been brought.
It's
up.
bullshit,
Of justice.
Yeah, okay, if it never should have been brought, then why weren't you acquitted? You were fucking convicted, man. What's up, dude? You were convicted. I don't know why Judge Merchan allowed him to speak. I guess it's just protocol. Everything he's saying is a lie. It never should have been brought. If it never should have been brought, then you would have been acquitted, dude. Exonerated. You were convicted by a jury of your peers. You're a criminal scumbag. You should be in prison, dude. And this was the weakest of the 4 cases. The Jack Smith overthrowing the government, the whole thing, you know. And yet the weakest, this is definitely the weakest case, but nevertheless, this guy should be in another country, this guy, Donald Trump, would be in prison or even on death row for trying to overthrow the government. Yeah, they execute people like that. Let me continue on just for a minute because I know I'm about to throw up.
Respected Jonathan Turley,
Jonathan
Andy McCarthy,
He's a fucking
David
charlatan.
a wonderful man who just passed away, by the way.
Totally unbiased.
Yeah, totally unbiased.
Greg Jarrett, Ellie Honig from
Ellie
CNN,
Honig, what a joke.
CNN said that. Paul
And by the way, I have a couple of books of Ellie Honig. He never said, he's just lying and twisting. He said, I'd be reluctant because it was the weakest of the case. Not to say that he was innocent, that he's definitely 100% guilty, Honig, but this kind of hush money. The others were more egregious, more serious. I get that. But he didn't say, oh, he's innocent. But let me continue.
Alan Dershowitz.
Alan Dershowitz!
Said this is not a case that should be brought.
The fucking
Now, think
losers.
about it. Legal expenses are down as legal expenses, and And I get indicted for business records. Everybody should be so accurate.
Oh my God.
It's
I can't
been
take
a
this.
political witch hunt. It was done.
Yeah.
By the way, for large swaths of this, Trump appeared remotely in the court, and his video just is totally frozen, and it just adds to the sort of Kafka-esque aspects of this.
To damage my reputation so that I'd lose the election, and obviously that didn't work. And the people
Here's
of
a lie.
our country
Listen.
got to see this firsthand because they watched.
No, they did not get to see this. It was not televised. They did not get to see it. That's the whole problem. If they saw it, Kamala Harris, I would hope, would win in a landslide because you could see what a lying criminal scumbag you are. Let me continue.
Got to see this firsthand, and then they voted, and I won and got the largest number of votes by far.
Yeah, but the largest amount of votes against you. He doesn't mention this, right? He doesn't mention Kamala Harris's 77 million votes against you, saying that you're a criminal scumbag, essentially, and you have no business being president. 77 million, right? He doesn't mention that. Even the last term, Biden had 81 million votes, more votes against any Republican in history. By the way, this was the closest election, this election with Kamala Harris, 2024, and in recent history. I've talked about this. Before that was Gore Bush in 2000, right? We know that that's with the hanging Chad. Actually, Gore actually won. He won the popular vote. But that election, and then I've talked about this before, in 1960, Richard Nixon and JFK. That was the closest presidential race in history. This was second. This one here, the 2024. So this is all bullshit. I'm not going to torture you for too much longer.
Republican candidate in history, and
Why?
won, as you know, all 7 swing states. Won conclusively all 7 swing states.
Okay, that is true. He did win the swing states. This is a close election. Like if you see the electoral votes, was it 306, 312, whatever. The Kamala's 240. And I try to explain people are so fucking dumb. It's the Electoral College, right? If you win the state, even by, let's say, hypothetically, 1 vote, you get all the electoral votes, right? If there's 16, even if you only win by 1, you get 16. So you win all the swing states. That's why it shows. It was not, absolutely, he didn't even get a majority, 49%. It was a close election. Most people voted against him, put it that way. Most people voted, or I should say most people are against him, all right? He didn't get a majority. Let me continue just for a minute.
Margin in Michigan has very little bearing on whether Trump committed 34 criminal acts in New York, but I know in Trump's mind they are related. And you know what? In a way, they're related in the real world because Trump knew winning the election was a proxy to get him out of jail free. And that's exactly what happened. So can we say he's wrong that winning Michigan does relate to this case? I mean, it ended up relating.
And won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes.
He won by just under 2 million.
So
Right around the 2 million, not millions and millions. I can't take this fucking piece of shit. This is a disgrace that this scumbag is being inaugurated like less than a week. And it's just an absolute disgrace. But all I could say is we can't give up hope. We're on defense. And my prediction is this guy's not going to make it somehow. So he's a criminal. He's a career white collar criminal, right? So he's not going to all of a sudden at the age of 80, right? He's almost 80. I'm going to stop committing crimes. Like that's not going to happen. Some really heavy shit's going to happen within this year. And I think he's going to be gone by next year. Maybe I'm being Pollyanna-ish. I don't know. But there you go. More to come. I'm going to talk about the confirmation hearings. It's been kind of difficult getting these videos out in the wintertime. As you know, I usually do my videos out on the deck there. But we're in the middle of the winter, and there you go. All right. On that note, good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk. And I apologize for subjecting you to that horrible scumbag's voice. All right. Peace. Okay, if you made it this far, make sure you like and subscribe. Helps with the algorithm, spread it around, the whole thing. Okay, peace, everyone. More videos to come.